views and the opinions of the guests and the hosts you hear on Mix Station Radio Live are not necessarily those of the staff and the management of Mix Station Radio Live, its sponsors, or advertisers.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Diary of a Preacher's Kid Talk Show. I am Octavia Somerville.
And I am Renee Newman.
Welcome.
We are excited to be right back here again with you all. We are going to start off. Thank you all for those who always support and listen after the show. Seems like you all are just loving our opening session, me and my churchy self. So we are going to continue my me and my churchy self moment. Growing up, we were told you should not swear. So instead of saying, I swear, we will hold our hands up and say, God looking down on me. So if somebody was to say something, they say, are you for real? I'm for real, God looking down on me. And even as an adult, I'm saying that because I'm still not comfortable with saying, I swear. So I'm still stuck on that. And God looking down on me means that I'm really telling the truth.
Yes. And my segment of that is also to validate that you were telling the truth. You would have to get the Bible.
Oh, yeah.
And put your hands on the Bible and say, God looking down on you?
God looking down on me.
Yeah, that's what
we cannot swear. So today's show will be led by Octavia, and you can let us know what we will be discussing today.
Okay, today's topic, and you all can feel free to call in and share and ask questions. Please call in at 1-855-493-6499. Again, that is 1-855-493-6499. We would love to hear from you. The topic is, what does healthy love look like? This is an evaluation of your love and your relationships, friendships. What does it look like? Do a self-examination. Is it toxic? Is it loving? Is it respectful? Take the time to evaluate this. Is it worth fighting for, or is it time for you to let it go? When you're talking about what does healthy love look like, this is what you should always consider. Number one, respect. And that means it must be mutual. Renee, you have any comments on that? We're just going to break it on down.
Respect is a big thing. And I think that in any relationship, respect for yourself first. Yes. Because if you first enter a relationship as a healthy and a whole person, you're coming with self-respect. And coming with self-respect and self-love, that will set up boundaries so that you'll know, okay, this is what I'm willing to work with and this is what I won't tolerate because I consider it to be disrespectful.
Yes. And even when you disagree, there should still be a way to communicate with each other respectfully, to agree to disagree. The next one is acceptance. And that is recognizing the other person for who he or she is without trying to change who they are.
That's a big one.
Very big.
Sometimes we look at people and we're like, well, I don't like this about them or that about them. And we talked about this a little bit before in another show. You know, you have people who are fixers. So you'll be attracted to someone and you'll say, yeah, he or she, they may be this way or that way, but give me a little time and I'll fix them. So don't go in thinking that you're going to fix or change a person. And this covers all relationships, again, be it family relationships, intimate relationships, anything of that sort, work relationships. Understand what you are bringing to the table, but come in knowing this is what the situation is. This is how this person is. Can you accept it? Or are you thinking that I have the key and I'm going to shape and mold this person or the situation to become something different? So know what you're dealing with, seeing things, seeing the person for who they are. And maybe they're not going to want to change. Maybe they're happy with how they are. So don't enter it thinking that you can fix people or change them.
Right. And one thing we have to realize dealing with relationships, we all come into relationships with some baggage. We're flawed. Some things in a relationship you can work out together by communicating, having accountability for each other, being able to discuss errors and mistakes and looking for resolutions. And then there are those areas where that's a part of a person's personality. And I think what we really have to consider is when boundaries are crossed, and there's disrespect, there's dismissal of who you are, and like you have no say or opinion. That is something that you definitely have to sit down and think, I'm losing who I am. I'm losing my voice. And anytime that goes on, again, you need to decide, is this relationship worth fighting for, or is it time for me to let it go? Again, call in 1-855-493-6499. We'd like to hear from you. Okay, our next one would be trust.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Major in any relationship you are a part of. Everyone would like to feel safe and confident physically, mentally, emotionally. And you have to learn to really, you got to earn that. And that's something that you work on daily. Trust. Making me feel that wherever I am, I know you have my back.
That's big.
I know that I can depend on you.
Trusting relationships. And you just finished talking about boundaries and having boundaries, understanding that, hey, when you're in a trusting relationship, trusting also requires truthfulness. And when you're setting up boundaries, here's my truth. Be it you share it up front, or if you just know this for yourself. This is a boundary for me. So any relationship that I'm in, I am really big on how people address me. I cannot, if anyone knows me, they know I do not like when people talk down to me. I don't like condescension. That's a whole issue for me. That is a boundary. And when you are condescending, I don't trust you. Because when you're condescending, you're intentionally looking for a reason to put me down and to build yourself up. When you're condescending, I can't trust you because you are making me the problem and you are the one that's right. So it's hard to be in a relationship with quote unquote perfect people. And that perception is a state of mind. I'm perfect. You're the problem. I'm going to tell you about yourself and you can't say anything. So I can't trust you. And trust, it's not easily earned, but it can easily be destroyed.
Yes.
Yes, Lord.
And to define trust, that means reliance. You have confidence and dependence on. So if I'm going through some storms in my life, I need encouragement. I need a hug. I just need for someone just to listen. And you bail out on me during my rough time and moment. That breaks down trust. I don't need a fair weather friend or companion or family member. I need someone who's going to stick with me in the rain and during the sunshine. So again, think about this and ask yourself this question. What does my love look like? Is it healthy or is it toxic? Do a self-examination of all of your relationships you are involved in. Do they only exist because of your efforts? Which is our next one. Is what does healthy love look like? Effort. Showing love, respect, and consideration with behaviors and actions. Are you the only one putting forth the effort to keep the relationship? If you stopped, would there still be a relationship? Or is it balanced? Do you always have to be the one to give, to take? If you're in a disagreement, in order to keep the peace, you always just have to let it go, lose your voice, lose who you are? No, be the best you that you can be. You first have to love yourself. Love God first. Let me correct that. Love yourself. And God will teach you how to love others. Because everyone is different and we have to deal with everyone on a different level. But that effort is also major because it has to be mutual in order for the relationship to continue.
And we're also looking at trust. If a person is always saying that just come to me, I'm here for you. But then we want them to observe that something is going on with you. You want to feel like, hey, you're paying attention to me.
I'm here for you.
And we have a caller.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Okay. And caller, state your name, please.
Yes,
welcome.
Hi, it's me, your cousin Linda. How are you?
Good.
Wow.
How are you?
Great to hear from you.
I'm blessed. I want to say thank you. Thank you for this topic. Thank you for this topic. So many of us need to hear this, especially women. You guys are doing a fantastic job. And I just want to say, piggyback on the topic that first you're talking about and how the condescending people can be. And I found out when people usually are condescending, it's because of their insecurity. But it's so much easier for them to make you feel like it's you more so than identifying the traits that they have.
Absolutely. That is so true.
Definitely.
Yeah. And before they identify their weakness or insecurity, they put it on you. You know, before they say, I don't understand what you're saying. That's dumb. So that's a very good point.
And I found out a lot of broken people don't want to be fixed because when they're fixed, they don't get the attention that they're demanding.
Right. So true.
That's an excellent point. And, you know, we just look at the dynamics of relationships and why we end up in the conflicts that we do. So if we're coming to the table understanding ourselves and understanding that, hey, I'm coming here self-loving, self-respecting, then I'm going to teach you how to treat me. You don't get to just say what you want or treat me how you want. I'm going to condition you to treat me good.
That's right.
Yes, but thank you, cousin. You know what? And keep on sharing and keep on encouraging and empowering our people, okay?
Thank you for your support.
We love you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Love you too. Kiss your mom and dad for me, okay?
Absolutely.
Sure will.
Okay.
Sure will.
Right,
Thank
bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, so we want to just on trust. I want to trust that The people that I'm in relationship with, even when I'm silent, you still hear me. That is so important, because when we go through, sometimes we can't find words for what we're going through. Be it happy and trying to hold it in, and somebody's like, "Ooh, I can tell." Just when people are in sync with you, or when you're sad and you're not saying anything, and they look at you and say, "What's going on?" I know I had a friend, I was going through, and I didn't say anything. And the one thing he said to me, we were just talking, and I thought I was getting along just normally, and just doing the regular friend conversation. And he said, "Okay, I know you're dealing with something, and when you're ready to talk, I'm here. But until then, we'll do it just like this." And that meant so much to say, "I see you." And for me, that was the trust. He didn't try to force me to talk. He didn't overlook it. It was, I notice it, and we're going to flow just how you want to until you're ready to talk. But I see you.
Right.
And that's what people need to hear.
Yes.
I see you.
Yep, I see the change. If you are starting to become withdrawn, or I don't hear from you, reach out to me. Let me know you care. You see something's going on. You don't know specifically what it is, but you are letting me know I am here for you whenever you feel the need to talk. I am here. That says a lot.
I'm sorry. And some people automatically say, "Oh, they just stopped talking for no reason. They don't want to be bothered." You try to keep in touch with them. And hey, I'm going to raise my hand and say guilty to that too. Because sometimes, I can get in my feelings, and, all the time, you don't want to be deep and always look at what lies beneath. But hey, what's going on within me that I'm automatically assuming the negative? So I do want to change how I think and say, "I wonder what's going on with so-and-so. Something has changed within them." But I definitely got that. "Oh, well, you didn't call me back, and I figured if you wanted to talk, you would talk, and I just leave them alone. They funny acting." And then you find out what's really going on with someone, and you're like, "Oh." Again, before some people take ownership, well, it's not my fault if they didn't open up.
Yes.
But sometimes you just got to extend a little grace and show a little love. Sometimes just open yourself up to show compassion for people, because compassion will build to trust. So again, any relationship that you want to be trusting, throw that compassion in there. Feel for people sometimes. You don't know it all. And every time somebody's going through something, like I said, they may not know the words. They may shut down. But at least say just what we just said. "I noticed something changed with you."
Right.
You got to know how to give a little. Now, some people can be nasty when they're going through. Let's be clear of that. I'm going through. I get to treat you any kind of way. You should understand. No, but throw a little compassion and a little grace. At least check in, and then pull back and check in again.
Right. That is so true. And we're going to move on to remorse. What does healthy love look like? Again, feel free to call in. We'd like to hear from you. Share. The next one is remorse. Being able to genuinely apologize or accept an apology without the endless punishment or circumstance being thrown back in your face. And we all know there have been relationships that in our past is just like, even though it happened years ago,
Yes, Lord.
you receive your triggers. You go back like it just occurred, and you do the mudslinging, and you can't let it go. Once you apologize and you've made a mistake, you learn from it, you grow from it, and you don't wallow in it.
Yes,
Okay?
yes.
That's what true apology is. It's not you constantly wallowing in it and getting up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, that's not what true repentance or an apology is. There has to be a change, not in your attitude, but also your behavior, your choices. And, okay, Will?
Well, how long, if you hurt somebody or whatever and you want to apologize, how long should that take? Is there ever an ending to that, or do you do it immediately? Like, let's say you just, you don't feel like apologizing right now. How long should you be in that moment of saying, you know what, I'm going to give this time and I'm going to apologize? Or sometimes is it immediately, Because some people may not they might not accept your apology at the time. It depends on what the degree of what happened.
Right.
Let me put it that way.
Definitely.
Right. Now, I think timing is everything. And the value of a relationship. For me, when it's revealed to you that you've done something hurtful or offensive to someone, sometimes you as the individual who just received that revelation, you have to process that. So I do think it's some processing there. And depending on your personality, it's hard for some people to look themselves in the mirror and say, okay, I just did that. I can't believe I hurt her. For some people, the impact may be so disheartening to them until they got to get it right then and there. And others, that for me, that's a more humble type of personality. To say, it just dawned on me that I did this. Or sometimes we say something, and as the words are coming out of our mouth, we know I just went too far.
Right.
Then you have the ones who, I know it was wrong, but they made me do it. So that comes to a personality. All of us have a different core character and personalities. So some people, they're a little more humble and easy to accept their position is wrong. And some people going to go down swinging. They know they're wrong, but they're going to try to convince you that they're right. So I can't say a time frame. Being a believer, the word of God says you don't want the sun to go down on your wrath. So of course you want to try to make sure that you make those things right as quickly as possible, because tomorrow's not promised.
Amen.
So for those who are, guided more by the Spirit and Spirit-led, you may feel a sense of urgency. But when you're dealing with pride and ego, you're going to play the holdout game. But based on what went on and the ability to humble yourself and say, I apologize.
Is there ever a time as a believer do we say we not accepting nobody apology? Is there ever a degree of to that say, we're done? I'm not accepting your apology. I don't care. I'm moving on.
That sounds like bitterness to me.
With that, I think according to God's word and as a believer, once somebody say they apologize, we have to forgive.
Yeah. It's awful.
It's awful.
Do even we really?
Yes. We according to the word, we have to forgive. That doesn't mean you have to be.
Now hold on.
Just 1 minute.
It's in the Lord's Prayer. Forgive those
That's true.
who have trespassed against us.
Yes, that is
okay?
true. That's true. Go straight to the word.
Gotta go to the word.
Yeah, even though you may not want to, but you have to look at it. Is this worth me and my salvation? And just because they say I apologize, and you have some people who are redundant with the apologies.
Oh yeah,
they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing that is wrong and
Lip
very
action.
offensive, and they constantly, I'm sorry. Okay, you are forgiven, but that doesn't mean I have to continue to take that.
right.
You walk away, and you walk away without being bitter and love them from afar.
Well, for me, hearing that, and you have somebody that repeatedly apologizes, but their actions and behaviors don't change, those are manipulators.
Yes.
That's what it is. So, I'm sorry. You have no intentions on changing. And what you want me to believe that you want to change. But really, you just want to keep that same power and control over me, or you still want me in your life for your own benefit. That's when, as we started off, healthy love is first self-love.
That's right.
So what is this person's intentions when you're apologizing, but your behaviors continue to be hurtful and offensive to me? Then I have to check with myself. Renee, you love yourself too much to go through this.
Yes.
And I don't expect perfection, but I don't expect cycles and patterns of behaviors to continue on. So I will forgive, but keep in mind, as a Christian, as a follower of Christ, I can forgive you and still make the choice not to be in relationship with you.
Okay.
So that's what I forgive you. I hear you because God forgave me.
Right.
And we all know the mess that we've done in our own lives.
Is that like saying I forgive you, but I don't forget? That's
for me, I see it as a slight difference because for me, when I hear I forgive, but I don't forget, there is an awareness. But if you do something that I have to keep before me, then what's the purpose of you being in my life? Forgiveness and moving on. The one thing that I've learned, and again, you all will know that I'm very transparent because I'm very serious about my journey to healing and helping others to heal and recover. I struggled with unforgiveness and bitterness, and I could hold on. And that was a statement that I would say, I forgive you, but I'm not going to forget. And then just what Octavia broke down about bringing stuff up. Remember when you did that before? You did that, Okay, so I'm trying to make you suffer, and then I'm saying in every situation, remember, you did this, you did that. We can't move on to a new argument and learn and grow because, there is such a thing as healthy arguments and disagreements.
Right.
Amen.
Right.
Because you learn and you grow. But you have one argument and then you pick up something from 10, 20 years ago. That's more along the lines of I forgive, but I'm not going to forget. Because guess what? I'm pulling that out my bag to throw it in your face. That's how I see it. For
to
me,
hurt you because you're speaking from a very hurt level and condition of mind. You're tired, you're drained, and now you said, okay, I'm going after you now. I want you to hurt like I'm hurting.
But is that a learned behavior?
Yeah.
Because you can
Most
get that
definitely.
because if
yeah.
you see other people do it, you learn it.
Yes.
Yep.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You just feel so better, especially with childhood issues.
Everything, our defense mechanisms come from previous experiences.
That's right. And you also have to watch out that the learned behavior doesn't condition you to be a victim of abuse.
And we all walk around with a victim story.
Yes.
I ain't going to do that because the last time I did it, this and that. Again, that's the defense mechanism. That's our story playing out again and again. So that's when I say I can forgive. But let's keep in mind, forgiveness and reconciliation, they don't have to go hand in hand.
They don't.
Hello.
You can forgive, but not reconcile.
Yep.
So for me, my key point is forgive. Don't walk in bitterness.
No.
Don't sit on it and throw it up in, whoever hurt you later on in life. Don't throw it up in their face. Learn that I have to let that go. What did it do to me? How can I heal from it? And how can I use that experience to make me better?
Right.
And you can make the decision, I'm better without that person. their behaviors are toxic.
All
So
right.
I forgive you,
Yes.
but I no longer want to engage in a relationship with you. So keep in mind, forgiveness and reconciliation do not have to go hand in hand. Just because you say you forgive, that doesn't necessarily mean that the mandated next step is reconciliation.
Hello.
That may be
Hello.
the case for some relationships,
Right.
but all relationships are not meant to be reconciled.
Right.
And
Right.
they
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
be all
No,
the time.
Not all the time. And you have to come to the conclusion of just how much you have taken and are willing to take. And don't feel as though you have to be a victim. Some people feel as though, oh, I can't let he or she go because they don't want to be alone. Okay, so they take a whole, they take a whole new attitude, and they take, and that's why they end up exploding.
Yep.
And you hear of people killing
Yeah.
Snap.
themselves
Yeah.
and everybody
The whole
else.
family,
Yeah.
We're going to kill everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody dying.
Yep.
Because they try and they try. And this is where you have to look at the people that you are in relationship with. If you are in relationship with people who are, clinically speaking, narcissists,
That's it. That's
you know,
it.
they are the ones who want you to think that they are perfect. Even when they are wrong, they want you to understand why they did what they did.
Right.
They do not want
your
your
fault.
eye. Yes, they don't want your eyes to become open to them. A narcissist thinks that it is impossible for you to leave them because you are always under their control and power. And when you argue with a narcissist, it's not that they're hearing you out. They are arguing because they want to convince you to see that they are right.
And that is annoying. It is frustrating and draining. And you have to realize when you see that every day this is what you're going through, that's toxic. And we're going to move on now with the balance. There has
Rolls
to
right
be
into
a
it.
balance of power in the relationship.
There you go.
One person cannot dominate and control everything. Please call in 1-855-493-6499. Please, we'd love to hear from you. Again, the balance. We got to hear each other out. If there's a disagreement, come on, let's come together, see how we can resolve it so that we're both happy. You can't have your way all the time. That's a problem.
So let's talk about this for all of our Christians. Marriages, we talk about balance, but when it comes to wives, submit to your husbands. Let's talk about balance when it talks about the wife being submissive. What does that look like? Does that mean, okay, let's really break down the submissive role, and I know this could roll into a larger discussion. You know,
Come on, call.
so
Calling right now.
being submissive, but yet a healthy balance. What does wifely submission in a marriage look like? You're to honor your husband as head of household.
Right.
You know, it's God, the husband, the wife, and the family. Okay. So, husbands.
Well, okay. Since I've been
come
married,
on, yes, come on.
Since
Will.
I've been married, I'm not married now, but I was married. I think one of the main things in that the Bible, if correct me if I'm wrong, you know, because I don't have the word in front of me, that the Bible only tells the woman to respect the man, but it tells the man to love the woman. It only says respect. It doesn't tell the woman to love the man. Now, the whole idea
Come
in
on,
all
minister.
of that, the whole don't do that now. And I'll put my offering plate out on the table. Don't play with me. I do need some money. It's my birthday coming up. Amen. But no, it never tells the woman to love the man. It only tells the man to love the woman. It just tells the woman to respect the man. And I think within the respect, That's when you get the love from the respect. Because no person can respect something that they don't love.
That's right.
Good
That's
point.
the bottom line.
Very
Excellent.
good point.
Yep.
So it never tells the woman to love the man. Just to respect him, to honor. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. And you know what? To add on to that, if you look at the woman, most women, that's what they seek, the love.
Yeah.
They want to feel a part. Whereas a man, you respect him, make him feel like he is king.
Yes, sir.
Make
me feel
Because
like
that's you'd be surprised at how, and I can't speak for all men because some men there is no pleasing at all. But most men want the respect, and most women want that love. And if you are able to meet each other, the need for respect, the need for love, that's a dynamic relationship there. And being submissive doesn't mean that you don't have an opinion or a voice. I respect my husband. I love him for the leader that he is.
But let me go here, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a minute.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to say the name devil, but on this show, you know.
Oh,
but
Lord. You are a mess.
Yes.
Get out of here, devil.
Get out of here, devil. Loose it
and let him go.
Loose him go. So the whole idea is that back in the day, and since we're in a generation,
Right.
you know, and it seems like it's getting crazy and crazy
Yes.
as the generations go on, especially with our children's children.
Yes.
And so when I was growing up, the man, it took that control of the family, whereas though the woman seemed like she was very submissive.
Yes.
Very submissive. Cook, clean, did all the kids, you know, and everything. And the man just went out there and worked. And when he came home, bath water running, all that, because she didn't work. Okay, let's get that out. Let's put that out. She didn't work.
Right.
This generation, as my generation came up, or our generation, most of the women, like my mother, worked.
Right.
While she was married. So it was a different change from her mother to where she's at.
Right.
Now we're dealing with the thing where as though nobody don't got no money, so we all trying to pitch in and do the same thing. So does that from my great grandmother time, does it really relate to what we're going through now, or that's the times are different, and should the Bible change? Since times
times have changed, but the word will never change.
All right now.
And the same thing with respect. The characteristics of a healthy relationship, respect, should never change, be it back in the day or now. Respect my husband as the head. He is to love and to respect me too. Now, even though now it takes 2 incomes plus.
Amen. Child, you getting out there working too.
That's
You 14, you working right now.
Yes, you
ain't
get
out
a
there working.
part-time job.
Get a
You know what I
part-time
mean?
job.
Yeah, you're going to help pay some of these bills. You know, but at the end of the day, we still ought to fight for the respect, the acceptance, the trust, the balance, and the love. We got to fight for that, because that is what can make or break a relationship.
Yes.
And fighting is when you all are in agreement, when you are in covenant.
Yes.
That this is what we both want. We're fighting for this love.
That's
We're going
right.
to hold on. I'm going to make you feel valuable. You're going to make me feel like I'm valued.
Right.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
it shouldn't be any question there. As Octavia said, we all come with our baggage.
Yes.
I mean, it's
Definitely.
just like life is a trip, and
Yes,
you
Lord.
come with your baggage.
Yep.
You come, you got to go through your baggage and sort it out. I
Yep.
can
Yes,
all right,
Lord.
we got to get rid of this. We
Yep.
got to get rid of that.
Take it to the
Keep
dumpster.
this on board.
That's right.
We are all coming with baggage. But when you balance that out, when you are coming, again, from a place of healing, because it is a complete catastrophe when you have unhealed people coming together in denial about their pain, about their trauma, and then they're trying to have a relationship, and what it is the battle of the issues.
Yep.
Well, my ex did this, and you're fighting your ex in your current situation.
Yes.
You're fighting with your kids because of how your mother or your grandmother
Treated
did you.
Yeah.
So that's why we have to come from a place of healing and wholeness.
Yes.
That is the only way. That's why relationships aren't making it, because it's a battle of issues. But on the outside, I'm fine. And then everybody has different upbringings.
Yeah.
So balance for somebody who grew up in a traditional church, gets married, and wives submit to your husband. They may interpret that as, I have full control. Do what I say.
Yes.
Amen.
So that's a conflict there. So let's first make sure, just because you say you Christian, you're of the same faith, what is your understanding of the word?
Yes,
because we will have a conflict over that. You do what I say. I come in.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
Do it.
Ain't no husband gonna be shut up.
And know what
No.
me? My comment is, I only had one daddy.
One daddy.
And when I
Eat the
married
cake.
you,
Eat the cake.
you are
Eat
a
the cake.
husband,
Husband.
not a daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have to
And I'm
understand.
not trying to be your mother either.
Who's your daddy? Who is your daddy?
I said, and you get to do what you want to do,
Yeah.
and you handle the finance, and you got to submit to me. No.
Yeah,
And that's
You have to
conflict.
make yourself
Yes.
an appropriate man that is worthy for me to trust that I can submit to.
But you know what? The other thing is, you need to get all that in order before you say I
Before.
do.
Before.
You got to get that in order, come to an agreement, see where they are coming from. My husband and I, we prior to getting married, we got our counseling, and God bless him, Elder Bolden from New Testament Church. I thank God for that man right now.
Yes, sir.
because he shared with us. He said, let me tell
I'm
you
giving
one
him some
thing.
hand claps.
He said, yeah.
Yes, God rest his soul.
Yes. He told us, he said, let me tell you one thing. Whenever you're in a relationship, you purposely make that person, you trigger something in them. He said, you make them angry. You see whether they are crazy or whether they know how to have balance, because you find out a lot when you see someone angry. Are they abusive? Are they in control? What are they saying? How do they make you feel? Are they repentant? Can they say, you know what? I just messed up. I apologize. Do they wallow? Do they become the victim? Are they in denial? Is it every day they arguing with you because they're fighting so hard, and they fighting long, hard, and wrong? So he gave us a lot to think about. Will, you have something to say?
Yeah, I was just going to talk about how you just talked about when a person get angry, they can't control their anger.
Right.
I think the situation that I was in, you have some people that you deal with that will conceal themselves.
Absolutely.
All right.
The
See,
representative.
That's a whole nother show.
nother-
We can
Yes.
talk about a whole nother show on that
Yes.
one. But when you dealing with that, only God can help you through that season. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just, and dealing with people who are they'll get angry and try to take you back to a situation that you was totally done with, but they're always going back, and then after they get angry, then they want to come and apologize. It's like the abusive person,
Yes.
like
Cycle
the person
of
that
abuse.
abused you,
Yeah.
and then they'll come back to you and say, "I'm sorry for hitting you. You made me do it.
Yeah.
Why did you make me do
Yeah.
that?" And that's the whole idea. I think those type of relationships need to be done.
Yeah.
There's no more. I'm not
No.
talking no more. We not. Look, you don't even have to even text me.
Right.
Yeah, don't call
Just-
me. Don't
yeah,
do nothing.
Just
We
leave
done.
me alone. That's when
know.
you say, that's when the reality part comes in. When it first occurs, you try to give the benefit of the doubt, try to have some hope. But then when you realize the impact that it has on you physically, mentally, emotionally,
Yeah.
it's time for you to check out then. That you know what? I've given it all I've had, and it's time for me to realize that a healthy relationship should not cost me my happiness.
That's right. That's right. And you know what? Just like everything else, when it comes to food, medication, all those things, they do have expiration dates. Relationships do come with expiration dates. Some relationships, if you go beyond that expiration date, it then becomes toxic. Just like if you take expired medication, you run the risk of having some adverse effects.
You might die.
You know?
You might die.
Yeah.
You might die.
So stay in a relationship beyond its intended expiration date could be detrimental. And I think that within ourselves, we know when something needs to end. But that's the battle within when you're like, I want to hold on. I got to let it go. I want to hold on. That's the battle. You have to know, especially when you feel like you are doing the work. Are you the one saying, how can I get this relationship to work? It has to work out. And you're saying, what can I? Not a relationship, sweetie. You should be coming together saying, what can we do differently?
That's right. That's
The
right.
finger pointing, the fault finding, it really does destroy your self-esteem.
Yes, sir.
It really does.
It really wears on you, and you have to come to a point in your life. It's okay to be alone. It's okay
and
to get your
needed.
healing.
Yep.
To get your peace. It's okay. And in time,
I feel like a
the
kid
right
in the store.
person will come your way. Don't take and get out of one bad relationship and then you're on the rebound and you never get the healing and the peace and the rest. And then you end up regretting.
Because you fall for the honeymoon phase.
Lord knows
What-
the honeymoon will be over after a while.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. I know. Now, the thing about it is that, tell me something, since y'all professionals, what is it when a person cannot be alone and don't heal? They just go from one relationship to the next relationship to the next relationship. Is that because they trying to find love in the wrong places, or they just not settling themselves, or just a combination of a lot of things?
That's a person, for me, that is a person who is on the run emotionally. And they don't want to battle their past. They're
Right.
running from healing. And that is a person who thinks that relationships can heal what solitude needs to heal.
But most of the time, I know some cats that I know, some of them are just afraid to be alone.
Yeah.
It's fear is at the foundation of it all.
And I think also abandonment. We have to
Okay,
also
there
go
you go.
back
There you
to the root of it. A lot of it can stem from childhood abandonment. So therefore, every relationship, they get in and they're getting out. And then we have to realize when you're constantly in and out of relationships, is it sexually, physically?
Hello.
What is it that causes you to be in it for a while and then you drop it constantly? It's abandonment. It's once you get what you want, then you're leaving. Then there are those who don't ever want to commit because of the fear of it may not work out, so let me bail on out now.
And that's let me leave before they leave me.
Or before they hurt me.
Yep.
Yeah. Or, dad, he walked out on me, mom. All right, this is a victim mentality. And again, my baggage is now coming into every relationship I am in. So to me, you need to get some healing. You need to get some therapy.
Absolutely.
You need to work on yourself. It shouldn't be every time you looking around, you're in and out of relationships. Who is the constant? And that whoever is the constant needs some help.
And that's also, for some, it could be a point where they're starting to feel vulnerable. once I'm starting to feel this guy. I'm getting used to him being around. My feelings are there.
Yes.
I'm starting to trust him. Well, based on my past, when I got to this point in my marriage or in my previous relationship, that's when people took power over me and they controlled me and they hurt me. And I don't want to go back there. So for someone who's running from vulnerability, if I open up, that means I'm giving people power. That fear of being hurt again. And even that goes back to the Word of God. The thing that I feared has come upon me. So if you take that in every relationship, you're going to run from it. You fear it so much until, guess what? Other people aren't doing it to you. You're doing it to yourself. The thing you fear has come upon you because you're welcoming it. You're running, you're dodging, and you think that you're keeping yourself safe, but you're not. And on top of it, you're now toxic to other people.
Yeah, because you're hurting other people. You're misleading them.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. And then also that's a form of selfishness too. Yeah. So you have to definitely take the time to examine and realize the way that I'm treating this person. Is it healthy? Let's go back again. What does healthy love look like? Come on, call in 1-855-493-6499. Please continue to share because this is a major topic and it has a major impact on all of our lives.
Yes.
It is very important. And you talked about choice, and we've already talked about communication.
Yes.
Communication.
Amen. Communication.
It is okay to talk and hash things out, you know, and as a society, we're getting on the communication train. They have
communication.
They have so many games out now for those
games.
Yes.
Jeopardy.
They're called conversation cards.
Yes, they are. Yes.
And you know what? And they're good for date night. Where they're saying, if I was to have a conversation with your ex, what is the first thing they would share about their experience with you?
They hate me.
So we want to provoke.
You lie too much.
Exactly.
Your breath stinks.
So conversation cards, and they even have them for the family. So if you don't know how to do it, if you're not ready for therapy, look into things just to spark conversation. Throw out a card and talk. Open up. You know, go to that uncomfortable place for the ones that you love, for relationships, and learn how to build trust. I think of everything, communication will help build trust, compassion, acceptance. All of these are just like, you know, building blocks to a healthy relationship. Healthy, not perfect. Healthy, where I can communicate. I'm not afraid to use my voice in this relationship.
I got another question. I'm putting my hand up through all this.
Uh-huh.
I'm the extra guest today.
Yes.
I'm going to put this out there because what do you do when you're dealing with parents who have two, you know, they have a kid, and one is in a relationship, the other one's in another relationship. It depends. Now, in this, you know, the kid is younger. Should the parent, if they're dealing with another parent, should they have a conversation with the other parent's what can I say? A relationship
significant other.
Thank you so much. See, you so smart.
I'm
God
trying.
to bless you. God
I'm
to
as
bless
smart.
you.
I'm as kind. I'm important.
What should the other parent have a conversation with the significant other if they're really involved like that, or should they just not talk at all and just let it be?
Me personally, I would like to comment on that one first.
Amen.
I think when it gets to the level of marriage.
What
and
about not marriage?
Futuristic, because see,
they're not getting married. Let's say they're not getting married. You know,
if they
these
don't,
days,
if they don't get married, see, one thing with me, what I look at, you don't want every time you turn around, you introducing your child to a different person.
hello.
So see, you want your child to let them see some stability.
I'm delivered from that. I am delivered. I'm
You know,
delivered again.
so I mean, unless you really think that this is kind of stable and you're not constantly switching up or changing up, then yeah, if it's where it's futuristic,
Okay.
and it's healthy, I would give it time to see just how the longevity of it. Just to see, okay, when you first starting off, I think you ought to put the brakes on it, kind of see just where you're going at with this. And if it's something that's futuristic, then to me, you start gradually having little outings. And personally, I don't know with the parents how good the relationship is, but you need to even discuss it with the former one.
Yeah, the former one. Yeah, amen.
Yeah.
And
Amen.
some people, if the relationship is very good, they all come together because we're all a part of this child's life.
But if you don't, then
But if you don't,
Yeah.
just let
then
it go.
you have to let that
Yeah.
go. But you also don't want to have your child seeing you switching up man and woman like every month, every
Yeah.
6 months. That's not good.
I'm delivered again.
Come on,
I'm
praise
delivered.
him,
I'm
yes.
delivered.
Yeah, because that has an impact. And realize your children aren't going to be little for forever.
Yeah.
Amen. Amen.
So I think you have to consider the age, consider the co-parenting relationship. Are you
Definitely.
all able to come to terms where you're saying, hey, we are not going to bring our significant others around until we feel like this is going to be a long-term commitment.
Right.
You know, because some people, and don't be bringing your girlfriends around my son, my daughter.
Yeah, that's
you
a
know?
that's a big
Jesus.
thing.
That's
Ooh,
big.
That's
Shabbat.
big.
So it's
That's
like,
very
Help
big.
us,
okay,
Lord Jesus.
how can you all come to that? But yet respect, because then that's a level of trust saying, well, hey, I'm a parent too, and I hope you realize I'm just not going to bring anybody around. So it would help where possible for the two parents to come together and
First.
say, yeah,
I think first.
this is the type of relationship. You
Yeah,
know, we
yeah.
all have friends and the kids come back. I met daddy's new girlfriend. You know?
What? Who?
Exactly.
Again? Another one?
Yeah. So I think, you know, just be cautious, especially with the age of the child or
But
children.
if the child is a grown person, then that conversation really don't need to be had.
yeah, that's
right?
a conversation you have with the child.
I mean,
know?
you communicate. I think, again, the communication in having a healthy relationship, that communication, look, I'm dating this person. This is how I feel. I'm hoping that things will work out. Just kind of let them know. That way it's no surprise.
Amen. Amen.
Especially
The
if your
communication.
child is in sporting events and
Yes.
you're ready
Oh,
to bring
Lord.
your significant
Woo.
other around.
And you see the other one?
Yeah.
Or even if you're out and about shopping and it's just coincidental, they run into you like, oh, wait a minute.
I know, Octavia, your kids were super involved in extracurricular activities and stuff, and you have witnessed many of you have witnessed many couples who decide to bring the new boo around, and you sitting in the bleachers, and the ex-wife is like, "Oh, he bringing his girlfriend," you know.
I mean,
You've seen some drama.
I would sit up there, I'm like, woo!
Yeah, so those things can get ugly.
Very ugly.
Especially if you're not prepared. And sometimes it's not even a jealousy thing.
No.
It's a, I don't like you.
And also, if you haven't informed your ex, that's
Yes,
a
Lord.
disrespect too.
Just to pop up at a game.
Pop up, and then it's like both. And can you imagine both people looking at each other? You've never had, again, the communication, the respect.
Lord have mercy.
What does healthy love look like? And that takes a lot of sacrificing, looking at yourself, at your relationship. Don't always point the finger and think it's the other person. Look at yourself and own up to your mess.
Own up to it.
Own up to your flaws. When you're wrong, acknowledge it. And then know what? Work on it. As far as relationships, be open about it. Look, I'm giving this a try. I don't know what the outcome is going to be.
I don't know.
But I want you to be aware.
Yes.
If anything, I want you to hear it from me and not through the grapevine.
And my thing, when you say acknowledgement, people. Acknowledgement is not, well, that's just how I am.
Yeah.
My friend.
Lame excuse.
Yeah, that's just how I am.
But that don't make you right.
That is not okay, guess what? I'm going to give it to you. That's acknowledgement, but that is not ownership.
No accountability.
Yeah, so when you say that's just how I am, that means
They knew I was
take
crazy.
it or leave
that's
it.
right. Take it or leave
knew
it.
I was crazy.
I don't care how I made you feel. You know how I am.
Yeah, no excuse.
Look at sometimes, how did I just make this person feel?
Lord Jesus.
What's it like to encounter you?
Yes.
So, Octavia, I know we're getting ready to wrap up. Can you go through some of these? And we'll pick up. I think this is something we want to piggyback on and get it going. You all please listen, like, share, let it circulate, and then we'll pick back up on it and have more calls to come in. But I just want you to get some of these other key points here.
We've already discussed communication. The next one is unity. The overall shift from me to us. Two whole people coming together to create one shared experience.
Wow.
And then the last one is empathy. Being aware, present, and loving of your partners and families' emotional perspective and how they feel.
Acknowledging their upbringing. It's a family dynamic thing. Oh, that's what his family do. That's what they family do. Don't just come in. Oh, they crazy. You know what they do? Don't come in with judgment. Again, we have to release judgment. We can accept and acknowledge differences, but we can't make the way we do it right and the way y'all do it wrong. Like this whole, look, I'm getting off topic, like the whole controversy going on about, do you put salt on your grits or sugar?
Oh, Lord.
You know, that is a big debate.
Yes.
I'm a salt person.
I put salt on my grits, but sugar goes on cream of wheat.
Oh, I don't need cream of wheat.
I don't either, but I know I agree.
Okay, salt on grits. All right.
Not sugar on grits.
No sugar on
goes
grits.
on cream of wheat.
Yes. Now, and see, those are preferences that
Exactly.
it's so crazy. At the end of the day, when you look at it, you have to tell yourself after a major argument, was this worth it?
Right.
I mean, we could have resolved this.
That's right.
I ain't no sugar.
And then you sit there like, how did it get that ugly? Oh, because he sprinkled sugar on my grits. And he knows I like
a
salt.
big blowout over. If you look at it, this is
got
so
me
foolish.
grabbing my keys and running out the house. Don't you dare put sugar on my
And
grits.
then people say, what's wrong? What's wrong? He put sugar on my grits. You mean to tell me all of this blowout over sugar? Do you realize they may have gotten things mixed up? May have forgotten?
Don't nobody call in on that debate about sugar versus salt on grits. But we thank you all. We definitely want to pick this up. We want people to be able to look over your relationships and identify, is it healthy? What is my role in it? Don't be afraid to ask that question.
Yes.
Close your hand and stop finger pointing and look at your role. Then look at, how does this person make me feel? And be willing and vulnerable enough to have a conversation. Octavia?
Yes. And we thank you all for being a part of our show and discussing again the topic, what does your love look like? Is it healthy? Is it toxic? What does it look like? Think about that. And remember to share and call in on our show.
Talk to us.
We love you all very much, and we would love to hear from you.
Everyone, you have a blessed day.
Yes.
Thank you for
Enjoy
tuning
it.
in. Diary of a Preacher's Kid.
Thank you.